Hello again, Warren here with the Peach State Prime Transformers channel, and today we have a review. Now, it's not necessarily a review of the latest release, but it's something that's new to my collection, and I know a lot of people are finally getting around to pick up, and that is Generations Tigerhawk from Transformers, I believe it was Legacy, and reason I just now got him was because I came across him at Ollie's. I just did a video with Landon not long ago where he picked up the Core Class Studio Series Ironhide from Ollie's. Ollie's had this and the Laser Optimus Prime, the current one, for $30 each. And these being leader classes and compared to $60 plus currently, again, tariff prices, at regular retail. $30 for a leader class toy isn't bad. I already have the Toxitron and, RID Scourge in the Laser Prime mold. Chose not to pick that one up, but I haven't gotten an update of Tigerhawk. So, figured I'd pick this one up and, and also figured I'd do a review in case you haven't picked it up and you're at Ollie's and see it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, $30 now, stuff at Ollie's it would have been $20 or $25 in the past. Well, hopefully this review will let you decide if, Tigerhawk is worth $30 or not. So stick around. All right, so Tigerhawk. First thing you'll notice is I'm starting this review a little bit different than normal. I'm starting with him in beast mode. Honestly, I've only transformed him once so far. It was alright. Wasn't the easiest, wasn't the hardest transformation. Of course, the instructions are not very good. But I thought I'd also be different in, showing off this beast mode here. It is very faithful to both the original toy inspiration as well as what we got for the few episodes that Tigerhawk was on the Beast Wars show. He does, of course, have a lot of white on him, which is true to his character. I love the bright purples, and then, of course, the kind of the chrome or copper that's on him as well. One thing that and then, of course, you got that translucent green on him, which looks kind of spiffy. Mouth does open and close. Well, trying to do this one-handed because he's so big, I'm having to hold my camera here. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, and again, it resembles the character. I know. But when you look at him from the front, you have this winged tiger with these massive cannons up here, these massive paws, and just this superimposing force. And then you look at the back, and you got these little, and again, I know they're hawk legs and the hawk tail, but even how the body kind of curves in, you see how it's big and bulky up front, and then you got this little tiny, chicken body at the end. And again, I know it's not the design of the toy. It is very much the character, but honestly, I just think Tigerhawk's design would look better if you had big paws like this in the back as well. And the only thing you did for the hawk part of him, because he's kind of a transmetal fusor. Would just do the wings for the hawk and everything else make a tiger. I think that'd be a lot more imposing as a character and a toy. It's kind of a reverse mullet. You got, kind of party in the front, battle in the front, and, I guess business in the back. But I don't know. But, anyways, it's true to Tigerhawk's design, so I won't, go on too much more about that. Think he's pretty good size for a leader class, especially when you account for the wings. Just simply massive in that regard. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, beyond, you know, what I was joking around about, is the chest here underneath. No matter what I do, it will not snap shut. You know, leave a comment, you know, if you're having the same issue or figured out a way around that. I have readjusted the components under there so many times and read and reread the directions, watched videos, and it's just a no-go. So that is my one gripe. And it's even like the clasp on it even isn't strong enough to hold it. It almost just seems like to just want to peg there. But again, not an overall, you know, bad design for the beast mode. I probably will keep him in bot mode, which I'm about to show, because I do think that it's, you know, looks a little bit, you know, better, more bulky, which is what I like. And, you know, again, doesn't have these little chicken legs. I know, I need to stop with that. But, so that's the beast mode. Let's take a look at that bot mode here. All right, here we have Tigerhawk in bot mode, excuse me. And, you know, he does look pretty good. You know, the transformation in some areas is, you know, reflecting back on it, because I just did it once again from beast to robot. It can be a pain in the butt in some areas. But overall, you know, he does look pretty good afterwards. You know, I like the swords, the little blaster here. You can put the cannons, either these are detachable, you can put them in his hands or on his back. I think it makes him look bulkier with them like that. You know, I made fun of him for his chicken legs, which, yeah, I still stand by that in beast mode. However, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have these cool claws that sit on his shoulders here, which really ties the whole bot mode together. Again, the colors really pop. This purplish blue is really nice and has a nice sheen to it. You know, he does have a little bit of a backpack, which, you know, it's mostly his, I'll just call it his flight pack. And you can bring these back, and but it extends the figure out to where the backpack's almost unbearable. So I like this version, you know, just kind of having it flat up against his back. He does have the little, and I'll show the original here in just a minute, but he still does have this little, you know, clear green ball, which was on the original toy. I love the use of the clear green plastic on this figure. I really like it for the visor. You can see on his face there. I just think that looks really cool. You know, 90s, you know, metallics and clear plastic speak 90s to me. The chest, you got the Maximal logo here. Couple things that I'm not a huge fan of. Number one, again, the transformation is a bit of a pain. It is what it is, though. But one thing I'm not a huge fan of in this mode is I don't really like the, you know, you see the underside of the wings here when they're behind him. And it's, you know, the hollow, you know, kind of unfinished plastic opposed to the other side, which is all nice and detailed. And for that to be his bot mode pose, I don't know if I like that quite as much. But again, a solid, you know, bulky, imposing figure here. And I had mentioned, you know, the original Tigerhawk. Let's bring him up. Now, maybe a little dusty. I did my best before this video. But this is very much my original Tigerhawk. I'm not transforming him because, I don't know, I've been having some really bad luck lately with some of my 90s Transformers and early 2000s snapping on me, even more so than the stuff from the 80s. So he's staying in robot mode for this. So the first thing you'll notice is that the original, the blue on him was much bluer and less purpley than we have in the Generations release. the Legacy release, that is. You know, and this guy's big and bulky too. Now, one thing I also noticed is the tiger head on the shoulder is on the opposite sides. Now, that could very well just be my transformation. Now, this resembles what came out of my box and in my instructions. I don't think you could really switch them, and I don't recall you being able to switch them on the original. So that's kind of interesting there. The blaster is still present. As far as paint apps, I will say I think the white looks better on the Legacy figure because there's a lot, you know, I don't know, it just seems a lot plainer, unfinished on the original toy. I'm not sure which shade of blue I like better. You know, you have much more metallic. Again, it was a Transmetal 2, Fusor, Transmetal, whatever. 2 modes in more of a... or 2 beasts in more of a fusor combination, but also a transmetal. Of course, the kind of the combined version of Tigertron and Air-Razor. That ball thing I saw about was right here, and there's, you know, most of the Transmetal 2 leader class toys had this. It's almost like a little cockpit for something they chose not to go with. You know, I feel you got, I'm sure I'm missing a few accessories off of this one here, but I feel, you know, maybe this one looks a little bit more imposing, the Legacy, that is, but the original's still a, you know, solid figure. You know, you do look at the face, it's a lot less detailed than the Legacy version. So I am going to call Legacy Tigerhawk a solid upgrade. The one thing that I will say is a little bit better on the original is I like the tiger head a lot better because it has these big, you know, massive teeth. Whereas on this one, you know, you saw the mouth open earlier, but it's just not, you know, as large or as imposing. It's kind of like when they redid Lyle Convoy from Beast Wars 2 in Legacy. Beast Wars 2nd, that is. You know, it's just those beast heads kind of get muted a little bit, I feel, in these updates. But again, you know, not a bad update. To Tigerhawk, you know, a character that probably deserved more screen time and more fleshed out character, but again, not bad. I think both releases had their strengths and weaknesses here. Alright, so the final verdict on Legacy Generations Tigerhawk. I think he's worth every penny that I paid for him at Ollie's for $30. Just a big, bulky Transformer. I mean, $30 is cheaper than a Voyager class on a Target or Walmart shelf now. And this guy dwarfs them by sure, you know, both just in sheer mass. So I have to say, yes, he was worth the pickup. Now, that being said, would he be worth, you know, what you're currently paying on a store shelf for a leader class, you know, 60 plus? I'm going to say no. You know, sure, the amount of pieces and parts and the bulk, yeah. But, you know, when you got stuff like, you know, this being hollow here in bot mode, the transformation being kind of meh, and the, and again, there's only so much you could do with this mold, so, or this character and transformation, but, and also where I couldn't get the chest to click in robot, or in beast mode, rather, you know, I gotta say, I don't think he's worth 60 plus. Would I go 45? Sure, why not? But definitely not 60 plus. So if you do have an Ollie's nearby and they have him for $30, you don't have him, that's a solid deal. Or if you encounter him at Ross or another discount store like that. But again, he'll be a welcome addition to my shelf, my Beast Wars update shelf. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video and my review of Legacy / Generations Tigerhawk. Again, just a fun toy to have at the price I got it for. Anyways, if you did enjoy this review and this video, please feel free to give it a like here on YouTube. And of course, leave a comment. You know, what are your thoughts on the update to Tigerhawk? Whether you've picked it up yet or not, and in this video, how do you think it compared to the original in bot mode? Again, I'm sorry I didn't put it in, you know, beast mode. I'm just a little leery. If you saw one of my earlier videos, I know DGS is a thing. I lost my Transmetal 2 Megatron to it earlier this year. And no, there's not gold on the original Tigerhawk, but I've had other toys recently that just snap even under normal stress. So little leery about it, but at least we got to see the bot mode side by side. And of course, subscribe to the Peach State Prime Transformers channel for more reviews like this. Also showing you, you know, other hobby-related content, such as how I'm updating my displays in different areas of my collection, as well as discussing the latest news and reveals that come out. If you'd like to learn more about me and my YouTube efforts, you can check out peachstateprime.com. Outside of that, I really want to thank you once again for watching. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.